How's everybody doing? Good? Good. All right, this will be pretty casual. I'm not too fancy of a guy. So if you have any questions along the way, just get up and ask it on the mic. I'll answer them. Let's do this. All right, so I am Ad Hustler. I've been doing internet marketing for over 10 years. I've been doing local online marketing for about 7 years or so. I never really thought of it as affiliate marketing until I started seeing like some of the other big affiliates talk about it, like Shoe Money and Chad from CDF Networks. They were a big blogger back in the day. And then I started writing about it on my blog as well, because I do see how it fits in. I mean, it's lead generation, it's pay for performance to the business. So it's very similar to affiliate marketing, but it's on a local level. Local lead gen. So what is it? Basically, it's generating leads or sales for a local business through a variety of online methods. There's a lot of different kind of local lead gen programs that you can run. There's a lot of different kind of businesses that you could do it with. It works for all sorts of proven niches like finance, auto dealers, real estate, construction, anything on a local level where the business operates off of a lead is appropriate for lead generation on the local level. Now, here's some facts about local lead generation, local marketing, local in general, online. 90% of consumers' purchases are made within 20 miles of where people work or live. So although internet marketing is the rage and a lot of people are buying online, still 90% of what people are spending, they're spending within 20 miles of their house or their work. Now, some of what can be accounted for that is like supermarkets, food. You know, you're never going to buy that online, or maybe you will with some of the newer services that are coming out. But at this point, 90% of people's money that they're spending is within 20 miles. Spending on digital media for local advertising will grow about 19% through 2014. 19% probably doesn't sound like the biggest number in the world, but it's been growing exponentially for about the last 10 years. So, I mean, it's been growing year over year, hundreds of percent. So at this point, to just see it keep growing is pretty amazing, because it's never ending how big local online advertising is becoming. Nearly all consumers, 97%, now use online media to shop locally. So what people are doing is they're shopping local, but they're doing it online. So they're going online, they're doing their research, they're searching for prices, they're searching for products, they're searching for businesses, and then they're going offline and doing the business local. Sometimes people are even using, they're going into like a Best Buy after they've already researched online at Amazon.com or Best Buy, and sometimes it's the opposite way. They're going and using Best Buy as the showroom, but still people are doing the research online, going into a local business, and still buying. Instant gratification is why that is. And then 83% of people using local search sites follow up their research with offline action. So even though they're online and their buying behavior is online, they're still going offline to make the purchase. They're making phone calls offline, they're making the purchase offline, and they're emailing. I mean, that's kind of online, but it's just basically that even though they're searching online, they're still going offline is the point. So to save you some trouble, if you were to go out and start a local lead generation business right now, you're going to run into a ton of issues. And the reason for that is you don't understand the competition. Or maybe you do. Maybe some people understand the competition. But although it sounds like there probably wouldn't be a lot of competition out there, the competition in the local space is absolutely huge. So local businesses, they're not new to advertising. I mean, they've advertised for years and years. Some of them for 50, 70 years they've done advertising. A lot of that advertising has been through print. So local newspapers. Mom and pop shops love local newspapers. Even though we know that print is dying, they are starting to understand that print is dying, but they're not quite there yet. So if they have a budget, of $10,000 a month to spend on advertising, they might be spending $8,000 of their budget right now on print. So it's something that you got to understand, that these print reps, they go into these businesses all the time, and they're always trying to sell them newspaper ads, and these people are used to running in the newspaper. So that's a big competition that you have. And you can't create ad dollars. A lot of these businesses only have X amount of ad dollars to spend. So let's say it's $10,000 of ad spend per month. You're going to have to get them to take that ad spend away from somewhere. And print is one of the places where you might be most effective in doing that. The next biggest place that these local businesses are spending their money is radio. On a cost per spot basis, radio is fairly cheap compared to like TV advertising. So a lot of businesses are used to advertising on the radio. It's local, it's geo-targeted. A lot of people listen to it and they're trapped in their cars, so they have to hear the ad. So radio is still pretty effective for local businesses, and they still do quite a lot of it. Then you got cable. For bigger businesses, they tend to do cable as well. So businesses like real estate that have a lot of ad dollars to spend, businesses automotive, which is a big niche that I'm in, have a lot of ad dollars to spend, and they spend it on cable as well. Cable is good for local businesses because it's geo-targeted. When you think TV, you think everybody's seeing your ad, but with cable, they have zones, so they're able to zone out like a certain city or a certain demographic and serve their cable spots there. So this is when somebody has a lot of money to spend, like a car dealership or a real estate or anything else that's big, they do tend to spend quite a bit on cable. You have direct mail. And I'm telling you these things because you need to know what the competition is if you're going to get into this, because you're competing for these ad dollars. Direct mail is still pretty big. The reason that it works is there's no unsubscribe really. So unlike email, you can keep mailing customers, customer databases, lists that they buy forever, and direct mail works. I mean, it's expensive, but it works, and a lot of businesses do it. They do it in a multitude of ways. They do it on their own. They do it through third-party services like penny savers and other kinds of direct mail services, or they just do it through the post office where they get every single mailbox in a zip code, and they're able to hit everybody with direct mail. And I mean, campaigns for that are quite a bit of money too. So if you know people that are doing, if you walk into a business and they're doing direct mail, they have money to spend. Outdoor advertising is still really big for local businesses. Billboards, bus stops, shopping carts. It's just a way to get their name out there to the local community. And then people are still in the phone book. I mean, phone book advertising is hugely expensive. I'm not sure if you're aware of that, but it could be in the tens of thousands of dollars per year for a local business to do phone book advertising, particularly if they have bigger ads within the phone book, not just directory listings. So, I mean, these are maybe places to start if you're going to be looking, to solicit online business or local business, because these people are spending money. So if you see their ad in print, if you see them on the radio, hear them on the radio, see them in cable, see direct mail from them, or see any of this, they have ad dollars to spend. But the question is, can you get it away from these sources to a less traditional media? And one thing to consider about all this as well is, although these are all traditional media, they all have online components as well. Everybody knows that traditional media is dying, especially traditional media. So their ad reps are instructed to go in, like a newspaper ad rep is instructed to go in and sell the online services that the newspaper has. So banner advertising on the newspaper, email blasts that the newspaper do, anything like that, they are forced into selling online. So these businesses are not, it's not the first time they've heard about online advertising. They've probably done online advertising before, and they've probably been burned. So it's something to consider when you're going to go try to sell local lead gen campaigns. And that's only on the traditional side. You have competition on the internet side as well. There's a lot of companies that are popping up and dominating the local space. Reach Local is a huge company out there. They do search engine marketing for small business. It's an automated system. I've heard a lot of complaints about the service, but they are very aggressive in trying to solicit local business, and they're a big company as well. Superpages is out there all the time. They have online marketing solutions for local businesses. They also do search engine marketing for local businesses, and they solicit these businesses very heavily. You have services like AT&T. AT&T has a whole search division, of search engine marketing. So they're a company that's out there soliciting business from all of these local businesses as well. Yodel, another big company. So, I mean, there's just so many companies out there that are soliciting local business. I don't want you to think that it's an easy thing to get local businesses to sign on to your local lead gen campaign. And then there's niche services, like for home improvement, there's Service Magic. They dominate the home improvement space. If, plumbers, contractors, anything around the house, they've heard of Service Magic. For restaurants, restaurants.com is huge. They do couponing for restaurants, and it's a lead generation system for restaurants. TrueCar.com is another system that generates leads for auto dealers. So in any niche that you're going to attack, there's some kind of online solution out there, and you should be aware of it before you walk in, and you should know your selling points over their services. And I want to remind you, if anybody has a question, just come up. We'll answer it, or I'll answer it. So more and more local businesses are trying internet marketing. they have tried it or they are trying it, and I would say 90% of them think it's ineffective because the services that they're using are not producing results for them. Most local businesses, they're willing to try something, especially for the right price, but will they stick with it is the question. And a lot of the time, they're trying it through traditional media. So a newspaper walks in and they say, we're the greatest at search engine marketing, which I don't know how a newspaper would be the best at search engine marketing, but that's what their reps say. They go into the business buys into it, they try it out, they get terrible results. The newspaper takes 70% of their ad spend, puts it in their pocket, spends 30% of it on the internet, and then they don't get the greatest results in the world and they don't want to do it again. So they're trying, they're failing, and that's where opportunity lies. The thing that's good about local lead gen above most other internet marketing or any kind of marketing is that you can guarantee results. A lot of the time when you're selling local leads, you can say to them, a lead's going to be $20 a lead, or $30 a lead, so they can quantify what they're going to get for their money, whereas they're going to say, if they're going to do search engine marketing through some third-party company, and that company's going to charge them $2,500 a month, they don't know what they're getting for that $2,500 a month. You might be able to say to them, you're going to get 100 leads. And that's a good selling point when you're dealing with a local business, because everybody wants to know, what am I going to get for my money? So the formula to generating leads with local lead generation. Targeted traffic is something that you need, plus a landing page equals leads. It's a pretty simple equation. You sell those leads for a profit, and then you make monies, pop bottles, get ladies. But it's just a joke. But so basically the equation is targeted traffic plus the landing page equals leads. You sell those leads for profit. It's incredibly simple, but hard in execution at times. So what is targeted traffic? Search engine marketing. I keep bringing up search engine marketing, and the reason is it's by far the most effective traffic on a local level. Google is 80% of the search market or close to it, and it can generate a huge amount of traffic in a short amount of time. So if you're out there selling local lead generation, it's a good way to be able to generate traffic quickly, and that traffic converts well into a lead. And the reason behind that, as we know, is there's intent behind the search. So if somebody's searching for a Toyota dealer in Parsippany, New Jersey, you could be relatively sure that they're looking for a Toyota dealer in Parsippany, New Jersey. It's not generic traffic. It's very targeted. So if you have a landing page that can convert that traffic, you're going to do well generating leads. It's also geo-targeted. So not only by saying Toyota dealer in Parsippany, New Jersey, can you generate targeted traffic, but just by saying Toyota dealer and targeting by IP address, you could generate even more traffic. And then you can use more generic terms, but search engine marketing, by far the best for generating leads. Next up is organic search. Organic search is good, but the problem is it takes so long and it's so unreliable at times that it's hard to guarantee it to a local business. So if you sell a campaign and you sell a campaign, to generate, I'm just going to use that Toyota dealer again, to generate Toyota leads, and you want to generate that through organic search, it could be 6 months down the line before you get a click over to your website. That's not something that's going to be doable with a local business. If they sign a contract with you today, they want traffic tomorrow. They don't want traffic in 6 months. So there's a place for organic search, and maybe building that into your landing pages, or let's say that you dominate a particular niche, like Toyota dealers in New York or New Jersey. You create a page that generates leads for multiple Toyota dealers, and then you could do it that way. Because then organic search will work because you can own this property and sell it to multiple clients. You don't have to guarantee them next day traffic. You can build up that property for a while. So search engine marketing, by far the best. Organic search, the second. Next up, you got Facebook ads. Facebook ads is really good because you can generate targeted traffic as well, particularly local. You can target by zip code, by city, by DMA, by page, interest. There's a lot of targeting options on Facebook, so that's helpful in generating local leads. Their traffic is usually not even close to as good as search engine marketing is. Search engine marketing, if it's converting at 30% on the landing page, Facebook ads, in my experience, will convert way less, half or even less. So even though it might be cheaper than search engine marketing traffic, it doesn't convert as well. Then you have ad networks. Sometimes you exhaust all the volume that's on search engine marketing and organic search, so you need to generate more. And if it's a big business, you need a constant inflow of new prospects and new traffic. Ad networks allow you to do that. So the Google Display Network is a good way to get local traffic because they give you a multitude of options and they have a huge reach. Google Display Network reaches thousands and thousands of websites across the internet, and some really good ones as well. And there's different ways to target your traffic on Google Display Network. So one of the ways is you target by keyword. So let's say that I have a central air conditioning, a central air heating and air conditioning type of company. I can target by keywords on a page. So let's say that I bid on keywords like central air conditioning, central AC, air conditioning installation, etc. I could have my ad show up on pages that are related to the business. You can also do behavioral targeting on the Google Display Network. So you could find people that are in certain buyer modes and then target them that way. They have retargeting. They have just a ton of different options for targeting traffic, and they have a lot of volume. So that's a good way to go if you need additional traffic. Media buys, you can buy media directly. So if you want to buy media on local websites to a business, you could do that. There's usually local niche websites, entertainment websites or local news websites that you could buy media on. They tend to be quite a bit more expensive than your other options, where you can buy media on an ad network for like 50 cents CPM. On a like newspaper website, for instance, you'd be paying like a $20, $25 CPM. So there'd be a huge difference between the different media sources and how much they cost. And media buying, I would be like down at the bottom. Buying on individual websites is going to be very hard to make a positive return on investment for doing local lead gen. And then you have classified websites like Craigslist, where you could possibly get free traffic and arbitrage that free traffic into leads. Basically, any media that you can geo-target can work. Any questions? Nope. So next up in the equation is targeted traffic plus landing pages. So for a landing page, there's basically like 4 pillars you need for success in a landing page. You need an offer, you need a call to action, you need an email form, and you need a tracking phone number. This is for a local landing page. Affiliate landing page, you don't typically need a phone number, but on the local level, people tend to make phone calls. So you want to be able to track those phone calls. And with the email form, you want to make it really easy for somebody to submit an email. You don't want them to click a little link and open their Outlook. You want it to be real easy and professional. The call to action is really what makes it. And an offer is helpful in getting people to complete a lead. So what I did is I wanted to show you a couple of landing pages that actually work. This was a landing page that I did for like a heating and air conditioning type company based out of New York. So this page, although it's probably not the prettiest page you've ever seen, it did work really well to the point where the client actually had to have us stop sending them leads because they couldn't install as many air conditioners as we were sending them the leads. So, I mean, that's another problem you run into with local business at times is that if it's a small mom and pop shop, there's a potential where you're not going to be able to scale it. Sometimes you can, sometimes you can't. In this particular situation, we had to cut the campaign off because they couldn't scale. So one of the pillars is the offer. There's an offer here for a $6,500 installation of a central air conditioning unit. And then we had a little hook here that said minus the May discount, but we didn't tell them what the May discount was because it just plays on human nature to figure out how much cheaper it's going to be. Everybody wants something for free or everybody wants something for cheap. So people are curious, what is that May discount? Is that discount $100 or is that discount $6,000 and I'm going to get a $500 air conditioner installed? So it plays off of greed and it gets people to take an action. So that was one way we did the offer on this page. And then our call to action was that the price is too low to advertise. Like, we can't advertise this price because it's too low. So call this phone number for the discount and mention this code and we're going to give you the price. So that's the call to action on this page. And it was a really effective call to action because people were calling up like crazy asking what the price was. And one thing you might notice is that it's an 845 number, not an 800 number. So a lot of the time people say put a tracking 800 number on a landing page. You don't have to put an 800 number. There's local tracking numbers as well. And in the past, I've found that local ones work better than 800 numbers because it's more geo-targeted. People trust it more because it's the same area code as they're in. So that's just one thing to mention there. We got tracking phone numbers in 2 places on this page. And we have an email form. And as I said, this page did really, really well. We've used it for a couple of different kind of clients, this kind of method with the giving a price and minus a discount. And pretty much every time it's done well for us. So that's a really effective page. Here's another really effective page, and I wanted to show you it because it's different than probably anything you've seen in the past. It's kind of ugly, to be quite honest. It's reminiscent of a newspaper ad for a car dealer. It has a lot of different offers because car dealers have a lot of different cars. So we have lease prices, we have buy for prices. It basically has something for everybody. So if somebody was on a search engine, they were searching for Mazda, you know, we could serve them this page and be pretty confident that we're going to have something that they're looking for. Another thing that this page has is trust factors. You might see the little yellow bar across the top. It says ads seen on New York Times, CNN, Time Magazine, Fox News, LowHUD, which is a local site. We really did run ads on those sites, so we just used it to our benefit afterwards to say, you know, ads run on these sites. It looks like they're kind of endorsing this page. It's a trust factor, just like you see on some of the flogs or some of the, you know, the affiliate sites. And then I wanted to show you another version of this page that we did, and I want to see if anybody could find what the difference is between these two pages and why this other page got a 42% increase. Anybody see it? Yeah, so what we did is we'd like to just test different things, so see what's going to work for the client. So in this situation, there's a dealer website that rates car dealers. It's called DealerRater. This particular client, although most of the clients don't, have a 5-star rating on there. So we're like, yeah, why don't we exploit the 5-star rating to our benefit? So we made a little box there. It said shop with confidence, 5-star review on DealerRater, and it lifted the amount of leads 42% on this page. So that was a 42% just free increase in conversion off of one little tag, you know. So it just goes to show what little changes can make a big difference. Now I want to compare this page to another page that I did for an auto dealer, and I want to show you what the difference is. So the next page is much nicer looking. It says Audi vehicles shipped to your door at up to $10,359 savings. It's really clean and it's really simple. And it plays off of emotion a little bit because it makes people think that they're going to get $10,359 savings, and they can if they buy an Audi A8, which is $100,000. So there's $30,000 Audi models and there's $100,000 Audi models. So this plays off of people thinking that they're going to get $10,000 off of an A4, not off of an A8. So people will take action on this page and they will get a quote. And now what you have to really consider is how well can your clients close leads. So if you have a client that's a big complainer that your leads are crappy or that, that they don't have good salespeople to close the leads, you might want to go with a page that looks more like this, because this page shows all the information about the car. There's really nothing missing off this page for you to be able to make a purchase. It tells you what the lease price is. It tells you what the MSRP is. It tells you what the buy for price is, how many are remaining. I mean, all it doesn't tell you is what colors they have in stock pretty much. It tells you down payments, promotions, all this kind of stuff. It's on the bottom of the page. So it's all there for them to be able to make a buying decision. So what happens is a page like this converts at a far less rate than a page like this. This page will convert at 2 to 3 times the rate that the other page will convert. The question is, what kind of client do you have? Do they just want a high quantity of leads? If they do, this might be the page to go with. If they could close leads and they have good salespeople, you go with a page that's like this because you could generate more leads and make more money if you're doing it on a cost per lead basis. Let's say you're going on a cost per sale basis and somehow have a deal with a car dealership where you make a percentage of the sale. You might be better off with a page like this because it takes some of the responsibility out of the hands of the dealer to close the sale, whereas the other one takes a lot more working of the lead when they come through. So it's just the difference between landing pages. They're both automotive. And just one more landing page to show you, I wanted to give you some good examples here, is a landing page that doesn't have a financial offer on it, because there's certain situations where the business is too complex to give a real price discount or a price on the page. So this was for a solar energy consultation. This is a company based out of New York also, and they install solar power systems. Solar power systems can cost like $100,000. So they don't want to give a price and they don't want to give a discount because it's just not really appropriate. People that buy this, they tend to be way more affluent and not as price sensitive. So we did something here which is more like a free consultation. We're going to answer these 3 questions for you. Is my property solar ready? How much will a solar system cost? What are the benefits of investing in a solar system? So these people are highly educated that will go to a page like this, and we kind of play off that to give them the answers that they want to their questions. And this page also did really well, something like a 20 to 30% conversion rate for the client. couple of tips about landing pages. These might be some simple tips, maybe not. Not everybody can code, so if you can't, there's options out there for you instead of having to pay money every single time you want a landing page built. WYSIWYG Web Builder 8, and I don't own any of these or make any money off this. I think they're really good recommendations. WYSIWYG Web Builder 8 is a program where you can pretty much just drag and drop elements around on a landing page, and they'll stay where you put them. If you've ever used Dreamweaver, it's supposed to be WYSIWYG, but if you put something in one place, it moves somewhere else. So with this, it's very drag and drop. It's very easy to build landing pages with, especially for people that can't code. And then something else that becomes complex for people that can't code is forms. You have to be able to direct forms to the appropriate people to receive them, have drop-down boxes to be able to select, different attributes. There's 2 programs here that do a really good job. Symphatic Forms is an awesome form builder. It'll build forms and multi-pages or anything you want to do, multi-variables. And then Coffee Cup Form Builder is also a good one I used to use a long time ago. And it's also drag and drop, really easy to use. Select your options. You don't have to know much about coding. And at the end, they just give you a little snippet that you can pop onto your landing page, and it'll put the form there. So, I mean, I remember years and years ago, I had a hard time with forms, and I did a lot of research, and these have been the best answers for me. Tracking. We already went through targeted traffic and landing pages equals leads, but how are you going to track, what a lead is? So you need to have a good system in place for tracking leads. Leads come in multiple forms, one of those forms being email. The easiest and cheapest way to track email leads is mail forwarders. If you have a web server, you probably have cPanel. You can just set up a forwarder in cPanel, like leads@domain.com, and then have those that forwarder forward to multiple email addresses. If I was doing it that way, I would probably have the lead forward to me, forward to the client, and forward to anybody else that's involved. This way everybody gets a copy of the lead and you can track it all. That's by far the simplest and cheapest way to track email leads. There's hosted forms. So some people decide that they want to have their forms hosted elsewhere. There's some benefits to that. 2 good services, Logic Forms and Wufoo, do that kind of stuff. It'll log all the email leads into a database, and then you'll be able to track from there, count up how many leads they got, show them proof of who the leads were. So that's a second option, a little more complicated and a little more costly. And then if you want to go way more costly and way more complicated, use something like a lead distribution system. I use Lead Mesh. Lead Mesh is a system where you could post a form into the system, and then it could ping out to multiple buyers who wants to buy the lead. It's used a lot in the affiliate industry for lead generation offers that are for leads. It'll ping it out to multiple buyers and determine quality and all that kind of thing. So with Lead Mesh, you're able to do that. You're able to distribute to multiple partners. It's a really robust system, and there's multiple systems out there like it. So that's another option for email. It costs a few $100s a month. Phone calls. Phone calls gets people tripped up because they're not too used to tracking phone calls if they're internet marketers. Tracking numbers are pretty much available everywhere. If you do a Google search, you'll see tons of providers for tracking phone numbers, tracking 800 numbers, etc. And then you have an option of basically local tracking numbers or toll-free tracking numbers. For certain kind of businesses, toll-free tracking numbers work better. If you're going to do radio advertising or some kind of bigger medium, people are used to hearing call 1-800-this or 1-866-this, whatever. Online for local advertising, I find that local numbers work the best. And a lot of the tracking number providers can give you local phone numbers that can track the phone call. And when I say track the phone call, it'll log the phone call into a database, tell you basically who called, what the phone number was, what the duration of the phone call was, what time they called, and then usually they'll record the phone call as well. This way you can monitor what's going on with your lead. And I actually have a couple of recorded phone calls here that I'm going to show you in a second to show what happens with some of these leads. Some good providers. We use CallSource. They're pretty decent. 800 Response, If by Phone, Mongoose Metrics, and there's hundreds of them out there. They're relatively cheap. And another option for you is Google Voice if you want to go on the free. If you get a Google Voice number, it can also forward to other numbers. It won't record your phone call, but it will track how many phone calls you received, and it's kind of like the ghetto way to do it, but you could do it, if you want to do it on a shoestring. And then some campaigns you track clicks. There's certain situations that I've been in where clients are pretty insistent on having like a link to their website on their landing page because they spent like some obscene amount of money on their beautiful, to them, terrible to me website, and they want people to go to the website. So in certain situations, I'll negotiate with them and say, listen, you know, if you want people to click over to your website, that's a leak off my landing page. I'm going to charge you $2 a click or whatever it is. And then you need a system in place to track those clicks. A free way is Google's link forwarder, goo.gl. All you do is you pop in a link, and it'll track how many times it was clicked, and it gives you some simple analytics. And then there's Link Tracker, which is a more robust system. It's like $20 a month or something like that. And it gives you full analytics and forwarding URLs, and it'll allow you to track clicks. So that's basically how you generate local leads. But then there's also dealing with the client. And what I find is a lot of the time, no matter how many leads you generate or how great they are or whatever, the client complains. The local clients are like notoriously a pain in the ass. So you're always going to get this, you're selling me crappy leads. You know, I don't want to do business with you anymore. Your leads suck. You know, I want to pay less for your leads. But the reality of it is, like, these local businesses, like, if you went to them holding money saying, I want to buy a car, like, they wouldn't be able to sell you a car. Like, they're that incompetent. So you have to track the leads, and you have to track the phone calls in particular and listen to the phone calls, because sometimes you're going to get a complaint and they're going to say, your leads are crappy. And then you're going to listen to the phone call and you're going to say, well, you got to hear this phone call. So here's one phone call that we had for a local car dealership that was actually complaining about the quality of the leads.
Extension, you may dial it at any time. For the limo department, press 1.
So first they have a huge automated system before you can get anywhere. So, I mean, most people will abandon on this automated system. That's what I find, at least. They'll just hang up because they you know, people pick up the phone on a whim, and they want an answer to something, and now they got to deal with this. I got to press this for sales, this for service, and they just give up. So when they finally do get directed to the area they want to go to,
they probably made a mistake.
This guy's busy talking to
Hello,
somebody else.
how are you? I'm calling in regards to the Nissan Altima, the 2005, the green one.
The green Altima?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
How
What's the
much
stock
is it?
number?
2005. Yeah, how much?
Dude wants to know how much.
The stock number is A1346. Hello? Hello?
It gets better, trust me. This is their best salesperson.
Hello? خلي فقني. Yo.
Like, this guy's sticking with it. He wants to answer to his question. Most of them will just hang up, but
Hello?
like, where did this guy go? Sales guy. He's sticking with it. He's committed. This is a good lead, right?
Hello?
Sir.
Hello?
Hello? Yeah. Let me ask you, what are you looking to spend for a car like that?
Hold on. Excuse me?
What are you looking to spend for a car like that?
5,000.
5,000. Okay.
Yes.
Have a nice day. Thank you.
That's what happened to my lead that they say sucks. I mean, they got somebody on the phone calling, sitting through a guy that disappears and goes to the bathroom or something, comes back, and the guy is rude to him, and he's still there, and then they say it's a bad lead. I mean, these leads, they have to be worked. They're car leads. There's two of the most complex sales in the world are real estate and car deals. So, I mean, it's not like it's just going to fall in your lap, a deal. So that's like one phone call, you know, just to show you what you're going to deal with out there and how you have to combat it, because you're going to get that complaint from the owner of the car dealership saying, you know, your leads are terrible. You know, we didn't make any sales this month. And then you go to them and you're going to say, well, listen to this phone call. Maybe you got to train your sales associates better. So here's another phone call. Let's see if this was anything better.
Hi, this is Carol. Can I help you? Oh, yes. Hello,
This
Carol.
is an elder care
My
center.
name is Marsha, and I saw your on the internet, and it looked very nice. You have different locations.
So they found this elder care center on the
For
internet.
my mother. My mother has she has some early dementia. Mm-hmm. And I noticed that you have you have a wing there for people with dementia?
I think you're talking about the promenade, maybe?
Hey, the person answering the phone doesn't even know what this person's talking about. It says right on the landing page
that
we have dementia
centers.
you
Everybody's in a meeting
know?
right now. Monday morning they all go into a meeting.
Oh, no, it was
She's telling this
party
person
going on
that
here.
they're in a meeting.
Right. Everybody's in a
Come on.
meeting right now. Cynthia is our market.
So she basically says that there's somebody else that's a marketing director and you should call them back at some other time, you know, instead of even taking down their name or anything. So that's another lead that's wasted. And just one more example is one where they stick too much to the script and it gets kind of obnoxious.
Hello? Yes, hi. I'm calling to inquire about your shredding services.
It's shredding, like paper shredding.
Online?
Or Google or Yahoo?
Yes, Google.
Google? Is it for a company or residential?
Like instead of greeting them or saying, like, how can we help you, it becomes like a survey.
And your address?
In New York City. Do you serve New York?
Hold on, Valerie?
Valerie.
It's all
Do you
about like
serve
the
New York
salesperson
City?
that's taking the info. It's not about the customer,
Yes, we
you
do.
know. It's pretty
Oh,
frustrating.
E-R-Y Street or Avenue?
You need a phone number and an email address to get back to this person. You don't need their whole life history. So, I mean, this is what really happens out there, and this is something that you are combating, and you need to be able to track appropriately so you can see what happened. Another thing that you need to be able to do, I forgot to mention before in the tracking, is certain industries have specific ways that they take leads. So, for instance, the car industry, you're not going to send them a lead from a mail forwarder. You can't do that. So if you have an automotive client, they take their leads in an ADF XML format because all of their leads go into a CRM system where they're able to answer and they could track how long it took them to answer the lead and whatnot. So you need to be able to accommodate each different industry that you're going to go into. Some of them don't have specifics like that, but car dealers do. So you have to be aware. Real estate agents also, they have certain parameters that your leads have to come in certain formats. So you have to do a little research before you attack a niche and find out what they're going to need to deliver that lead. And then I just kind of wanted to show a couple of thinking outside the box ways to generate leads. Because it's not just search engine marketing and media buying. That's not the only way to generate a lead for a local business. One way that I've found lately has just been fantastic and really cheap to generate leads that you could resell is Google ad extensions. I'm not sure, has anybody tried Google ad extensions? Yep, okay, cool. So they have multiple ad extensions, they have location extensions, and they have call extensions. Call extensions in particular, what they do is when you serve a text ad on Google or on Google Maps or on any of the related sites, it'll show the phone number along with the text ad, and it doesn't take any of the characters out of the text ad. It does the same thing with location. It'll show a map. So what it does is it actually makes the ad stand out more because it has more attributes than just the regular text. It's got that phone number and it's got the location. And then what I'm finding is a lot of people will make the phone call from the search engine instead of actually clicking the ad. So they'll like search for Toyota dealer in Parsippany, New Jersey. They'll see, you know, Parsippany Toyota. It'll say the phone number underneath the ad and they'll just call it. So instead of actually even spending any money whatsoever on the marketing, you can potentially be getting free leads that way. So if you're already doing search engine marketing, you almost have to add this on. It doesn't cost anything extra. They do have some kind of where you pay per call on certain devices. They charge you like $1 or something for the phone call, but it's well worth it. I've found really, really good results with this. Like to the point where I'm generating like an extra 100 leads or something on a campaign just by adding this on. So Craigslist is really good for certain niches. There's third parties that'll list items on Craigslist for you. I mean, for like car dealers, for real estate, for like appliances, anybody that like sells something, Craigslist could potentially be really good. You can get, like for a car dealer, you can get all their inventory listed on Craigslist for like $300 a month, and then you can generate like 500 leads off that. So I mean, there's potential there. The quality of the leads is not that high, but if you sell for cheap enough, it could work out for the dealer, you know, and you can have a really cheap campaign traffic source on your hands to generate leads. Another thing that you could do is lead arbitrage. Lead arbitrage, you can use it with Craigslist also, or you can use it with another source. Let's say you're at Affiliate Summit and you find an affiliate that has really good leads for real estate because you're in the real estate niche. You can buy their leads and then arbitrage them off to your client for more money. So pretty simple. You don't even have to generate the lead. You buy the lead and resell it. And you can use a system like Lead Mesh to do that. You can actually have the lead go in, you clean out anything that you don't want the client to see, and then you forward it back out. You can do the same thing with Craigslist. You have Craigslist leads go into your Lead Mesh system or your lead distribution system, clean them up so they don't know where they came from, and then send them back out to the client. It's a really good way to generate leads, and it's cheap. And it's almost no fail because you can buy them from somewhere and just resell them. And then something that most people don't think about at all is email. A lot of clients have email databases or customer databases in general, and most of them aren't emailing them just because it's a hassle for them. Sometimes you could work a deal with the client and be like, if you give me your email list, I'll do the marketing and charge them for the leads that way. Or sometimes they don't have email lists at all, and you could do something called an email append. And what that is you could take their entire customer database. Let's say for like a car dealer, let's say they had 10,000, 20,000, 30,000 people on their customer database. You can append the email address onto the customer record. There's big databases out there that have email addresses on them. And the database will match like where the person's living, their name, different attributes about the person, and they can match up their email address. It can match about 20% of a customer database. So that's another way to go is email appends. And then there's services out there that have their own email lists and their own servers to send off of. CityTwist is one of them. They maintain huge databases of email addresses within specific zip codes, and you can do like email blasts out to those zip codes. So let's say you had a gym. Most people go to a gym within 10 miles of their house or 5 miles of their house, really close. You can blanket those zip codes that are within 10 miles of the gym with emails. And it's a pretty effective way to generate leads as well. You're talking about like 3-4 cents an email to do something like that. So, I mean, it's pretty cheap as far as marketing goes. Any questions out there? I'm nearing the end of my presentation. Come up to the microphone. Don't be shy. Feel free to come up. I'll answer anything.
I just wanted to know, have all the changes with the way Google goes about doing their business, especially with the latest, the Penguin and all the other things, has that affected the way that you go about your local search engine?
I mean, sometimes it puts you in a better position because they might have had a website that in the past was generating for them 2 or 3 leads a day or 20 leads a day or whatever it is. And all of a sudden with Penguin, it fell off and they're not getting any traffic or any leads. So now they're like, wow, now I'm not getting any leads off the internet. I need to do something about this. And you can sometimes exploit that for your own gain. It doesn't really affect much of what I do because I do a lot of search engine marketing. Search engine marketing being paid search, like buying Google AdWords. So Penguin doesn't much affect that. I mean, it affects SEO. But I kind of think of it as an opportunity because they get very fearful of what happened and why they stopped getting leads and something must be wrong and the guy must have built me a crappy website and the company I've hired for marketing isn't doing a good job because I lost traffic. They don't understand that Google changed their algorithms and all this. So it's an opportunity. I don't really see it as a terrible thing in this situation.
This is referencing back to some of the samples of the landing pages that you did. Typically, we've done the very little information, big offers, and great pictures, forms, etc. We're seeing a lot of our competitors have these long scrolling landing pages now where it just keeps going and going with information. Very 1980s when they first kind of started.
What's your niche? I mean, that you're talking
health
about?
And wellness.
Health and wellness. Is that on the local level or it's just lead generation?
In lead generation.
Yeah, yep.
And is that a trend that you're seeing as opposed to, quick, down and dirty, only big information and get that information out there? Or are you seeing it's changing where it's just lots and lots and lots of information because it's way back looking like those old bad ads you used to see in the magazines where it just went on and on and on? Is that a trend that you're seeing?
On the local level, I'm not seeing it that much. I've seen it a couple of times with some different niches, but a lot of businesses do that because it's almost like the ClickBank style, like where you want these long landing pages where you basically answer every possible question that the person has. They never read the whole page, and they just get tired of it, and they feel like, okay, there's so much information here that I'm just going to buy the product. And that's kind of like the ClickBank style of landing page. It works certainly for certain kinds of businesses. I think it's the kind of thing where you should just test it. If you're doing health lead generation, I would test the your style landing page versus that long style landing page and see which does better for you. Like sometimes things that look really ugly, like you'll see that landing page that I had that has all the prices all over the place. Like that is an ugly landing page. I hate it, but it works. So, sometimes you just have to test it, see what it does.
Could you give us any insight on, for someone who's not necessarily in the local marketing, how to like convey your services to businesses and identify opportunities to
Sure.
let them know what you do?
Yeah, well, one thing that I didn't really mention yet is pricing. There's different ways to price leads, and that would come into this question. I'm going to answer your question a little more thoroughly than you even asked. So the way that everybody would think of is like you charge per lead. So you know about a certain niche, like maybe you've done some dentists and you know that you could generate leads for them for $10, so you charge them $20 a lead. That would be like a per lead way to do your marketing. You could do like per sale. A bunch of dentists, the niche. You know that a new dentist client is worth to the dentist $500, you charge them $200. That's another way to go. You got like a hybrid method where maybe you charge them like a management fee for their spend, and then you get a smaller amount per lead. And then you just have like sometimes the management fee style where they just have $10,000 a month to spend and you take 20% of it or something and you just spend it and generate as much leads as you can. So there's different like pricing schemes. Now back to your question of how would you market yourself if you're not really doing this yet. One way is to come off professionally when you go into a business. I'm very professional, as you can see. No, I'm really not, but because I don't really go into businesses. Another way to do it is to team up with other people. So maybe you could find a salesperson where you do the marketing and you can have a salesperson hit these businesses, and generate the business that way, like a partnership type of deal. Or on a bigger level, which is what I do, you can partner up with a company that already has clients, and then you could serve their internet marketing needs. So maybe like an ad agency or somebody that already has a lot of clients, and you don't have to go get the clients. You just have to prepare packages that the bigger company can sell to the clients that already exist. So that's a really good way to go as well. So, some people, they want to just, they just want to go out and they want to do it by themselves, and that's cool. Some people want to just do the marketing, and that's cool. And if you want to do it on a bigger level, you team up with another company, where you can serve the needs of their clients. Because there are companies out there that have a lot of clients and don't know how to fill their internet needs. Feel free to come up.
I have a question. Who are your best buyers? Because in my industry, there's a lot of companies that have their own internet marketing department. There are other companies that don't even have a website. Mm-hmm. And so are you going after the leaders that with maybe larger budgets? Or are you going after the businesses that have limited exposure that may be only in yellow pages, let's say?
I particularly like bigger clients. I don't really like dealing with little like dentists or little tiny clients because they're really finicky typically. $1,000 or $2,000 or $3,000 might mean a lot more to them than a big client. So I'm very heavily involved in automotive, car dealers and manufacturers and things of that nature. So I'm very into automotive, and that's a good niche because they have a lot of money to spend. The average car dealer has, on the low side, typically $20,000 a month to spend. On the high side, they could have hundreds of thousands of dollars a month to spend on their marketing. So if you can just get a piece of that, or if you can get all of that, there's a huge potential there. So automotive is good. Even real estate, I mean, they don't have as big a budget as automotive typically, but they usually have like $10,000 to $20,000 a month to spend on their marketing. So these are pretty good prospects to attack. Banks have a lot of money to spend as well. I've done business for banks. And believe it or not, I've gone to the board meetings. So.
Okay, so sort of following based on what you just said here. So the big businesses that are buying leads, large budgets and things like that. You said banks, real estate, car dealerships. I imagine insurance. Education,
like colleges have a lot to spend. Like local colleges, state colleges, things of that nature. If you can get an account with them, they also have a lot. It's another good niche.
Okay.
Gyms or fitness is another good niche.
And then, okay, which are the small ones that you're seeing that are kind of like budding up that like you think have real potential?
Restaurants are getting more involved in internet marketing right now. Restaurants are notoriously bad payers, but they are popping up. Like I'm seeing right now, a lot of like restaurant.com is getting a lot more restaurants than they used to have. Restaurants are using local search engine marketing companies. And I'm also seeing a lot going on with like online ordering and online marketing for the restaurants. I'm seeing a lot right now of restaurants using this, like, I forget the name of the service. It's called something with a Z, like Zangle or Ziggle or something like that, where you can like text an order into the restaurant. So like mobile is starting to get involved with restaurants. I'm seeing them butt up quite a bit right now for local marketing. But as I said, watch out because they're not good payers. So, any other questions? That's pretty much the end of my presentation. These are some other good resources for you. My blog, I write a lot about local lead gen and affiliate marketing. Shoe Money has some really good case studies on local lead generation, especially around cash for clunkers. He did some really good stuff. CDF Networks has kind of disappeared. He was a big blogger a while ago, and he did a lot of good stuff on local lead gen. And then wickedfire.com has some good threads on local lead gen. Did you have a question?
Yeah. When you deal with the bigger businesses, do you find that they often, like banks would have an exclusivity contract already with some kind of marketing firm?
They usually have like an agency of some sort, but sometimes they'll go around their agency to do their internet marketing. A lot of agencies right now are not too up on internet marketing. Some of them have internet marketing departments, but some of the ones that deal with some bigger businesses, they've been around a really long time, and they haven't transitioned well into internet marketing. So they're very good at print. They're very good at the cable spots or on TV buys or media buying and all that kind of stuff, but they're kind of weak on internet. So sometimes you can exploit that, and get them to go around their agency to do some stuff with you.
You haven't found any company is too big for this,
I'm sure there's going to be companies that are too big. It's a sales type business. You're always going to get shot down on something. It's just being persevering through that, and keeping to go to other businesses until you do find an opportunity. So there's always opportunity out there. You just have to find it. Yep. Anything else? Thanks for coming. There's a survey on the way out, I think, and give me a good rating.